What you're seeing here has been recorded directly in-game and on the live servers. Worlds with blue skies, daytime-styled environmental lighting, changed atmospheric effects, and more. This isn't an Unreal Engine mock-up demo, this is live gameplay, however, it isn't an official update. So then, what's the deal here? Well, forum user Old Duck wanted to get a feel for what tenuous atmospheric worlds will actually be like when they release early next year in the Odyssey update. With that goal in mind, he set about the task of creating these environments in-game, and what we've got right here is footage that Old Duck captured from his results. Now, for those of you who might not be aware, Old Duck is pretty handy when it comes to graphics mods for Elite. His previous and ongoing work, the Elite Amazingly Realistic Immersion mod, allows users to change a number of things in-game, including changing the blackness of space, improving the darkness of shadows, disabling all cockpit lights, removing space snow, and much more. It's a handy mod that a lot of people like to use, and one which really can improve the experience of the game overall. In principle then, there's nothing going on here that gets into modifying the game's code or anything like that. Instead, it all works by changing the shaders, something that in concept is similar to the shader injectors like Sweet Effects and Reshade. But that's not to unsettle this at all, because obviously this is fairly complex to achieve. Old Duck uses 3D Migoto to achieve all of this. That's available as a link in the video description there if you want to find out more. So going beyond just graphical shader injectors, the concept here was extended to changing lighting on planetary surfaces to give more of a day-like feel, creating a blue sky, changing the ship contrails to white, and a few other things as well. I think you can all likely agree that results look very good indeed. Now this mod can be used in-game. Technically it isn't breaking Frontier's terms of service, and it functions in the same manner as other already widely used graphical injectors, so it really shouldn't cause any issues, either technically or legally. Right now the mod isn't available for public use, although Old Duck is considering it. But that said, there are a few minor issues and concerns that may potentially prevent a public release, not least of which is that it's possibly a little too close to what Frontier are planning with Odyssey, and it might cause some issues there. Now, as a proof of concept, I think that this works extremely well. It highlights why atmospheric worlds could work. I think it also goes a long way to highlighting the appeal of having access to worlds that look a little more like home. It's not hard to imagine how variations on this theme would improve the experience of exploring planetary surfaces. But don't get me wrong here, I realise that I'm not touching on gameplay or planetary atmospheric flight mechanics. Both of those are entirely different subjects, and very important ones at that. But here I'm focusing purely on the visuals. Interestingly, Old Duck also confirms that this mod works perfectly and fully in VR without any issues whatsoever. With all of that said, do keep in mind that it's important to understand this mod doesn't physically create an atmospheric world just by changing a few shaders. Instead, what it does is create the illusion of an atmospheric world, and it actually does this in a very convincing way. The mod can be extended to offer in different types of effects. For example, here we can see a nighttime appearance. Alternatively, it's also possible to generate different colour skies. The effect can also be extended all the way up into space, giving the game a very different feel indeed. Back on the surface of planet So, Old Duck is still looking to the future and potential additions. One thought is the idea of the sky getting progressively darker as the sun sets. It's a concept which Old Duck feels is something that can be achieved, although it would lack the typical sky colour gradients that are typically associated with sunsets, so something that he may add in the future. Now, whether or not this ultimately makes it out into the hands of the public, we're just going to have to wait and see. But what's very nice here, and what I'm really pleased to see, is just how well the colour changes on planets actually work. It's something I'm looking forward to seeing for real when Odyssey finally lands next year. So, awesome work, Old Duck, and thanks for sharing. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.